We'd like to welcome you to Carter Fold tonight. Hope you have a great time. They don't throw everything down there. Our sponsors for the Carter Fold are Bright Label, Wets FM, Scott County Telecom, Price and Ramey, Times News. We have a tradition here at the Fold. We give a hat away for the person who's traveled farthest to be with us. We have a list, and if I don't call your name out, we'll give you time to holler where you're from. We've got Minnesota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Arkansas, Michigan, Maine, California. Is there a group here from California? A special group tour bus or anything? Okay. I know that they had bought 15 tickets. I was just going to recognize you if the group's here. Can you holler for us? All right, hi California. North Carolina. Washington State. Washington State. New Jersey. Oh, you do, I know. All right, any states that I missed? Florida. I've got Nova Scotia down here. I think you're going to be one of our hat winners. Do I have somebody here from Panama? Panama? Okay. I think our hat winners tonight, they will be Nova Scotia and Panama. If you could come down, she'll give you a hat and take it back to the show. Thank you. You need that out. Okay, I'd like to tell you about Mount Vernon Church. It's just a few miles above here. If you'd like to attend church, it's open to you. That's the Carter Family Church. Been established there for a long, long time. Next week, our band will be the Wyatt Ellis and his Bluegrass Band. During intermission, which we will take around 8:30, you can visit the museum and the cabin. I told you about the church, and the service there is 10 a.m. November the 9th, we're having a benefit show here at the Fold for the Mount Vernon Church. The artists will be Tennessee Mafia Jug Band, White Top Mountain Band, Crooked Road Ramblers, Russ Family Band, Ronnie Williams, Eugene Wolf. The doors will open at 1 p.m. The music will begin at 2:30. There will be a food truck, it's the Tuck Truck, Good Chicken Truck, on the grandstand day. And they will serve, and we'll have drinks and things here in this concession. So, I think that's all the announcements. We hope everybody has a good time. Visit the concession stand. Souvenirs are over there near the entrance there at that door. There's t-shirts and albums, tapes and books if you'd like to make a purchase. So we'd like to welcome to the stage now, they've been here many times before, the Hillbilly Biscuits.
Well, we're the Hillbilly Biscuits. We made our way down from Morgantown, West Virginia. And staying true to tradition, we're going to start this off with a good old Carter family number. Boy, man, blues. I'm off the word. Let's do it.
Where
I tell you what, that fella's dancing right there. Y'all might need to redo your floor. He was a good one, man. Woo, man, that's hot. I wish I could dance half that good. My great-grandmother taught us kids to Charleston when we were kids, but we didn't have clickers on our feet, so I'd like to Charleston those clickers, though. Boy, that's right. Yeah. Woo. Anyways, it's your turn, boss. Well, I'm going to try one here. Being that we're the Hillbilly Biscuits, we got to sing about biscuits every now and then. Well, I didn't have any biscuits this morning. How many biscuits did you eat? More than I care to count. How many biscuits? Well, how many biscuits can you eat this morning? Oh, how many biscuits can you eat this evening? Well, how many biscuits can you eat? 49 and can we eat this morning, this evening, right now? Well, when she looks straight this morning. When she looks straight this evening. Well, when she looks straight, there's not a lot of biscuits on that plate this morning, this evening, right now. Well, how many biscuits can you eat this morning? How many biscuits can you eat this evening? How many biscuits can you eat? 49 and can we eat this morning, this evening, right now? Well, when you see me look strange this morning, oh, you see me look strange this evening. When you see me look strange, there's not a lot of biscuits on that plate this morning, this evening, right now. Well, how many biscuits can you eat this morning? How many biscuits can you eat this evening? How many biscuits can you eat? 49 and can we eat this morning, this evening, right now. Well, I love my wife, I love my baby, yes, sir. Love my wife, I love my baby, yes, sir. Well, I love my wife, I love my baby, I love my biscuits soft with gravy this morning, this evening, right now. Hey, how many biscuits can you eat this morning? How many biscuits can you eat this evening? Oh, how many biscuits can you eat? 49 and a ham of meat this morning, this evening, right now. I'm lying. I'm gluten intolerant. I can't even eat biscuits. I miss biscuits. Try an original tune. This is one that I wrote. That's been a few years back now. West Virginians here. Anybody from West Virginia? Well, this song I wrote, we were coming back from Ithaca, New York. I don't know anybody from Ithaca. Anybody from New York? Got some New Yorkers? All right. Well, we were on our way back from Ithaca, New York. And we played this festival up there, and they were real nice to us. When we got there, they said, y'all are the headliners. Well, it's New York. They didn't say y'all. I think they used guys as the headliners. Anyway, they told us we were the headliners, and they were real nice to us. They had this big giant dressing room, nice place to hang out before the show. But I'll let you know a little secret. Headliner is a big fancy word for playing last. Which meant we were the last ones to get out of there, and we had to they put us up with a little, wasn't a hotel, it was a motel. Well, it was old-timey, you know, not on the main highway, it was off on the old road. You know, there used to be the main road. And it was one of those one-level motels, and we went inside and it had a mildew smell to it, and I'm allergic. And I said, well, I'm going to just make the drive home. And on the way home, apparently I fell asleep while I was driving. I don't recommend it. Anyway, my wife woke me up, scared me to death. She said one word, and I knew I was in trouble. She said, dude. Scared me to death. I woke up. I said, what? She said, I think you fell asleep. She said, you were driving just right along just fine, and then you went over towards almost to the guardrail, and then back on the road again, and you didn't respond in any way whatsoever. And that woke me up right there. And I said, well, I should probably try to keep myself awake somehow. And she said, well, I've been sleeping a little bit. I'm fine to drive if you want. I said, I'll be fine once I see that West Virginia line. And that rhymed, and I thought, well, I'll make a song out of it. And I spent the next hour and a half for the rest of the drive home, maybe 2 hours, just no instrument in my hand, obviously, since I was driving. And I just kind of was running through lyrics in my mind and a melody. And by the time I got home, I had this song. Now, I didn't use the line that inspired it. It was too wordy, but did get a song out of it. This is West Virginia line. Is this the one you wrote about reaching the Montana line? Yeah. is a song came out in the 70s, 1970s, called it's called Fire on the Mountain. Not this isn't the mountain music version. It was a band called the Marshall Tucker Band. They dabbled in country sounds and that sort of thing, but they were known as a rock and roll band. Lyrically and musically, it works real nice with banjos and fiddles. Try it.
steeped in old-timey music, especially fiddle music. Gray's dad is one of the finest square dance and contra dance followers on all of the East
bands and fiddle go hand in hand. Ready to do a good old time over here. This was written by a fellow, I believe, written by a fellow named Roscoe. He had some just basic name for this song, like The Real or something like that. And everybody else, fiddle players that were fans of the song, started playing it, and they didn't like the name, so they just started calling this song Roscoe after the guy who wrote it.
the sound that you guys get. We just kind of hear ourselves, that's about it. So. Well, I do believe we're going to swing in here a bit. We like a good swing tempo. This is a song I would say, strangely enough, this is an old Bill Monroe number. After Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs joined up with Bill Monroe, they came up with this tune. And I would say it's one of the first examples, other than maybe during that time Hank Williams, maybe, where they took a swing-style bass fiddle and combined it with other sounds. It was probably the first predecessor to what became later rock and roll music. And that's why both Hank Williams and Bill Monroe are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Some people don't understand why that's a thing. But when you take a swing bass and the real heavy style of, heavy downstrum style of Bill Monroe, you get the early thing that later influenced people like Chuck Berry and those types of artists. And I always thought that was a neat connection. But this was before all that, before they plugged in electric instruments. Come up with this tune, and he called it the Foggy Mountain Special. And then they added a little extra beat here and there, and Bill Monroe added some lyrics, and the song eventually became what we're going to do now.
if anybody's wondering, everything I'm about ready to play I learned from Glenn Miller, so here we go.
Houston Sanders on the 5-string banjo. Check out the band of many talents. In addition to playing the 5-string banjo, he plays just about every stringed instrument you put in his hands. You'll probably find that out here in a little bit. Levi's also a historian with a couple of degrees. He's a bit of an eccentric. maybe a philosopher in many ways. Very interesting fellow. He's an Aquarius like myself, that's why we get along. I'm just trying to say he's that like really awesome kind of weird. And he's going to play one for us. You want to tell him how much. So during the week, I got all kinds of irons in the fire during the week, but one of my best and most favorite irons I have is I teach kids music. I got about 10 different banjo students and various other kids I teach, and there's one young man, he finally made it past, I teach Earl Scruggs style banjo, and he made it past the Cripple Creek stage, and we graduated into the next tune I teach, and this is the tune we're going to play because I played it all week, I'm polished up on it, so we might as well do it. And so, anyways, this song was recorded in 1948 out in Cincinnati, Ohio, when Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs went out there, and after they moved on from Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys, and Earl Scruggs came up with this tune, and forever changed the way the banjo, five-string banjo, was perceived, really. And had he not recorded this tune, I don't think that Bonnie and Clyde could have ever gotten away from the cops. So, this one's called the Foggy Mountain Breakdown. So we're going to start off real traditional. We're going to do it, you know, and then we're going to, like, halfway through, we're going to get a little weird with it because we have to. And then in the end, we're going to tighten it right back up, and we're going to end it like that. So just like that. So here we go. With a snap. Oh, here we go. We're going to play this at 240 beats a minute, and here we go. Hope your clickers are in short because they're going to need it. Here we go. All right. Maryland, they have a contest out there, out in Oakland, and I went out there once.
It was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, what, really? Okay, cool. Well, they have a clawhammer banjo contest out there, and I just had to know how to play the clawhammer banjo. And I won that contest 3 years in a row. Yeah. Now, there's a caveat, though. Now, wait, don't clap too hard yet. There's a caveat. The first year, there were 2 contestants. The one guy had a broken arm, and the one guy had only 4 strings on his banjo. But I don't care. A win's a win. You know, so there you go. The second year I went out there, it was a legitimate competition. I beat that guy. And then the third, yeah, we don't talk about that. And the third year, I just had to pay an electric bill, so I needed some cash and went out there and won it again. So anyways, we're gonna do you some tunes here that are at least 200 years old in the old-time mountain style banjo playing. We're going to do a quick medley of tunes. Medley is Latin for a lot of songs smushed together. And trust me, I study Latin on a daily basis. Et tu brute, caveat emptor. Big pay at lay. Anyways, the first tune we're going to do is an old tune written by the grandfather of American popular music, Mr. Stephen Foster. And we're going to do an Angeline the Baker, and then we're going to go into an old civil. Oh, I know, it's my favorite one. And then we're going to go into Soldier's Joy, an old Civil War tune. And then we're going to wind it all up with an old French-Canadian Irish tune called Whiskey for Breakfast. And for all those people that don't speak Canadian, that means you're drinking it before you eat it. So here we go. And I know that this style of banjo picking is a favorite down here, so we have to play a little bit of it. So we're going to start this out. We're going to start this out the old-fashioned way with just a fiddle and a banjo. And then we want to give you a quick lesson in old-time etiquette here. So when the banjo and the fiddle start out by itself, that's called a traditional beginning. And the fiddle will start off with what they call taters. Craig, give them a tater. There you go. Craig's going to start off with 2 rounds of taters. And that's going to be Gray and I. And then Mr. Greg and Mr. T. Buckner here are going to come in with what they call diamonds. Hey Greg, show us what a diamond is. There you go. And at the end of that, you're going to have 4 knots. It's going to be beautiful. Diamonds and taters galore. Here we go. Ready to do this? Hold on, I'm not quite out of tune enough. Hold on, your banjo can never be quite in tune or it don't sound old-timey. It sounds like you're playing up north somewhere. We don't play that Yankee music down here. Even though the first one was written down. Here we go. All right, here we go, folks. Angeline the Baker, for your listening pleasure. Ready? Double. what you saw right there, all the dancers and the picking of that tune, that's about as American as it gets. So I love it. It's so great, ain't it? I love it.
We'll try do one more medley here, and then probably about time for a break. I'm going to sing the first part of this, and then Gray over here on the fiddle is going to sing the second song in this medley. You're all in for a real treat. First part is a co-write between two folks that I never knew wrote songs together. I knew they kind of came from the same era of music and same region, but I didn't know they wrote together. One being the folk singer and songwriter of the 60s and 70s, Joan Baez. She helped write this song. The other being Jerry Garcia, who was the lead singer of a band called the Grateful Dead. But he was also a fine banjo picker and a preservationist of old-time music. And a lot of people don't know that. He really strived when he played old-time music and bluegrass music to keep it authentic. He played with a lot of Bill Monroe's bandmates over the years before he had passed away. And Pete Rowland and Pastor Clemens and all the side men, I'd say. Anyway, they wrote this song in the stylings of old English ballads. Now the thing is about English ballads, there could be 100 songs that tell the exact same story. It's part of the folk tradition. So instead of reinventing the wheel and trying to write a whole new idea, they took one of those common themes and made their own song with that same story. One of those common themes, that's what they took here, was a story about a fellow that goes off to war and he travels across the sea to a foreign land. The love of his life can't bear to be without him, so she sneaks aboard a ship dressed as a soldier and goes and finds him. And that's a common theme in English ballads. And Gray's going to step in after that one and sing an old traditional number y'all might or might not know, a song called Darling Corey. Let's try it here. This one's called Jackaroo. Jack. back just here very shortly.
Hello. There we go. Howdy, folks. We are back. We're going to start off this first part here. We're going to do some traditional Carter family songs here. And sometimes when it comes to doing the Carter family repertoire, the way the Carter family did it is probably the best way to do it. So you have to approach it in a minimalist, with a minimalist approach. And I think the two things that characterize Carter family tunes is the auto harp and the Maybelle Carter style guitar. And when I was juggling with the idea of which one I wanted to do tonight, which I love playing Maybelle Carter guitar, but I thought it would be fun to do some auto harp work here because the auto harp is quintessentially an American instrument here. What they call a keyed zither. So we're going to do some tunes here. I'm going to do one of my all-time favorite Carter family number, and then we're going to get Jamie and Gray out, and we're going to do another Carter family tune, and then we're going to kick up the dust again and start clicking our shoes again. So what I always, when I was a kid, my papa loved the Carter family, and we had an old record we'd play on the record player, and one of the first tunes I ever learned to play was The Wild Flower. And when you learn to play the guitar, that's one of those tunes you have to play. I always tell, I got a couple of guitar students, and we're learning The Wild Flower, and I told one, I said, Brooklyn, her name's Brooklyn like the city. I said, if you can't play The Wildwood Flower, you can't call yourself a guitar player. So we've been learning to do that. And, which I'm not going to play that one. If I had my guitar, I would. But that was what started me off, and then with my love of the Carter family repertoire. And the tune I'm going to play for you here is one of my favorites. It's a tearjerker, and I like it because sometimes it's good to have a tear now and again when it comes to beautiful songs. And so this one here, I just love the lyrics, and we all can relate to this in some form or the other. And this one's called Gold Watch and Chain. Let me get this ring off. I can't play with the ring on. Wave your hand down. I pay $80 a year to wear that ring. They haven't got it yet. All right, here we go. And I'll pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. And I'll pawn you my gold diamond ring. And I'll pawn you this heart in my bosom. Only say that you love me again. Oh darling, how could I stay here without you? I have nothing to cheer my poor heart. This old world would seem sad, love, without you. Tell me now that we never would part. And I'll pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. And I'll pawn you my gold diamond ring. And I'll pawn you this heart in my bosom. Only say that you love me again. So take back all those gifts you have given, but a ring and a lock of your hair, any card with your picture upon it. It's a face that is false, but it's fair. And I'll pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. Tell me why that your smile isn't bright. Tell me why you have grown so cold-hearted. Is there no kiss for me, love, tonight? And I'll pawn you my gold watch and chain, love. And I'll pawn you my gold diamond ring. And I'll pawn you this heart in my bosom. I'm gonna say that you love me again. I love that verse when it says, and I'll take back all the gifts. Any card with your picture upon it, it's a face, it's false, but it's fair. Dare I say her name? Anyway, so we're going to get the real talent out here, and we're going to do a tune now. So you had to put up with me for one. Now you're going to get a little bit of a fuller Carter family experience. You have a male voice in the middle, and then you two on the outside. Maybelle and Sarah. I ain't AP, but I'll just pretend that for 1 minute, I'll pretend I'm 6'5" and handsome and dashing. And I'll do my best. I know I'm handsome and dashing, I'm just not 6'5", so it's okay. Anyway, we're going to do you a tune now, another tearjerker, because that's what we like to do. This one's called Will You Miss Me When I'm Gone? This is about as Carter family as it gets. thank you all very much. Certainly.
Oh, that was beautiful, in my opinion. And what an appropriate place for it. About to kick it up a notch here. I didn't want to tune with all that pretty music playing. I felt like I'd interrupted it. Fans. I've always been a big fan of Lubin Brothers. We have come up with our own way of playing this song.
We're Lubin Brothers.
Anyway, my beautiful wife Jamie Lindback is going to sing this one for us. We've come up with our own way of doing the chorus on this number that I've not heard anybody else do. We've added a few extra lyrics to it, kind of sing it in the stylings of a round, but not quite round. Round flavored, I guess you'd say.
Like a Ritz cracker.
That's right. This is called Are You Missing Me? Are You Missing Me?
That's the title, apparently.
There it is, okay. Ready, here we go. love song if ever was one. Here we go, ready? If you ain't first, you're last is the moral of this story. So here we go.
Songwriter, and she was into all kinds of neat things. If you're not familiar with Hazel Dickens, you should look her up and look into her life. She was a real inspiration. She was kind enough to allow us to record some of her music before she passed away. This one here is called West Virginia, My Home.
Here you go, the prettiest banjo you'll ever hear. But at least surprise you, considering I am kind of a very weird person. A couple weeks ago, I was asked to sit in and play the guitar with a jazz band. And I know just enough to, I play guitar. I play guitar with Trey. We do rockabilly, but I don't really know anything about jazz. But these guys called me and said we needed a jazz player, and I was like, sure, well, what's it paying? And he said $300 bucks. I was like, sign me up, okay. So I showed up to this jazz gig, and these guys were great. Like, this is a top-notch jazz band. I didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I fit in, and it worked. So anyways, I'm faking it. That, like, really, like, just faking it. And one guy looks over, and he's like, hey, I didn't know you were a jazz player. I said, I didn't know I was either. So we put this song on the set list, and here we are. We're going to play a jazz tune now. But this is Dixieland Jazz. This is the hot stuff. So with Dixieland Jazz, the requirements for Dixieland Jazz is an upright piano, a tuba, a clarinet, a trombone, and a tenor banjo, which we have none of. So we have to improvise. We have a 5-string banjo that I can fake it. That's not a tuba, Gray. That's a 3-bar. That's a 3-bar, not a tuba. So anyways, just follow me, friends. So we're going to fake it, but we're going to make it. We're going to play a tune here we learned off of Roy Clark, the great Roy Clark. This one's called, yeah, Roy, you like Roy, I like Roy too. I cut the sideburns in the other day in memory of Roy. So here we go. We're going to play you this tune, the most famous tune from Alabama, Roll Tide. It's called the Alabama Jubilee, spelled with 3 E's, Alabama. And we're going to try and sound like a Dixieland Jazz band without the requirements. You know what? If it's a tuba, it's a tuba. You should. All right, here we go. This is actually kind of cool, so just hold on to your socks. All right. So you can make it sound like a tenor banjo. You know, you can fake it, you know. Here you go, Alabama Jubilee.
All right.
works. I like it. Thank you, sir, very much. Friends, it's time. We just did a cool Dixieland jazz tune. So now we're going to do another tune that's in the same vein as that, but not at all. This comes from the old country. We're talking old country like Poland old. And it came over in 1941 to Scranton, Pennsylvania. Sorry, the Lutherans came over. Oh no. No, just kidding. I like Lutherans. I like him. He's a cool dude. No, friends, I'm talking. It is polka time. P-O-L-K-A spells polka. Polka dot. Polka time. Friends, we're going to do a polka for you. This one was composed in 1941, recorded by the Andrews Sisters, and was a hit and some success. The one we're going to do now is called the Pennsylvania Polka. Now, I do have a hilarious story about this tune. To make it short, I had an electric bill that got up to $400 one time when I was a kid, because you know that's what kids do, let their bills go, you know. And there was a banjo contest in town that night, and they had paid $500, which would have been enough to pay the bill and have $100 cash in my pocket. I wasn't going to go. I was just going to say, you know, it's okay, whatever. It's just electric. You don't need lights and gas. But the responsible adult in me said I should pay my bills with a banjo contest. And so I said, I need a real winner of a song. What am I going to do? And a buddy of mine suggested, why don't you play a polka? Nobody plays polkas on the banjo. It's like, okay. So I whipped this up, went down that contest. There was 10 people in it, and I took first place. And that was the year I won the third round of the call hammer contest as well. I walked out of there $600 richer. I paid the lights, and then bought some books or something with the rest of it. Like I need another book, but nevertheless. I know. So this is the Pennsylvania Polka. Now, you will not hear this recorded. This is going to go on our next record because this is what you're going to see and listen to right now is my Frankenstein monster. This is my creation completely. This is yeah. This is Levi Houston Sanders' arrangement of the Pennsylvania Polka. You guys ready? Let's do it. And if you know how to polka, I might polka with you. Let's do it. I'm a master of polka. I took both sides. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to count to 3 and we're going to come in. Ready, guys? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
don't know if anybody else had the opportunity of growing up with a Pentecostal preacher for your role model, but or a preacher in general. If you grew up with a daddy or a grandfather was a preacher, it's an interesting situation. You go to church a lot, like a whole lot. One thing I loved about church was singing. That's where I got my roots from. Almost innocent enough for Grandpa. There's one he'd probably tell me how to do, and he'd say, "You're drifting too far from the shore, boy."
and Miss Rita, and everybody is always so kind to us and just accommodating, and we just want to thank each and every one of you for being with us here tonight, sticking around, because without you, there's no point for us. So we certainly appreciate each and every one of you. So, and we also appreciate the Carter Fold, and I'll be honest with you, out of all the gigs that we played a year, this is the one I always get excited for, and I've always been excited to come here. And I've been with this band for about a decade now, so today I was just excited to come down here today as it was the first time I came down in 2016. So, thank you all so much. Now we're going to take a little bit of time here, and we're going to, we've been doing this now, I claim to be, in the banjo scheme of learning, there's a lot of different veins, right? There's the Ralph Stanley style, there's Earl Scruggs style, and then there's that new age stuff all the kids are doing, which I don't quite get, but it's okay. That's for somebody else. But I'm a big fan of Don Reno, and I love the Reno style, so I try and incorporate a lot of that in there. But there's this one tune that we just have to play that I like to smush all three of those guys in, and we're going to do it for you right now. This is an old tune called Reuben, and we're going to Reuben it. It's a perfect country and western song. Has a train in it, has a mother in it, has a dog in there somewhere, and the dog does not get hit by that train either. Alright, so we're going to jam it. So we're going to start off, we're going to get a little weird with it, and then we're going to come back around and we're going to give you what they call the train wreck ending. And that's when Casey Jones says, "Jump man, jump, jump Sam, jump," and he pulls the brake and crashes it. Here we go, let's do it. Alright, here we go. Reuben's Train. Alright, here we go. I'm finally in tune, I talked it out. Alright, here we go.
for that show.